Hey, this is Paul Evans, your free online business coach. 0 offers, because everybody knows the game. I went to the grocery store this morning. That's right, I went outside, went out with humanity. Everybody keeping their 6 to 10 foot distance. And let me tell you, if you infringed on anybody's space, they stared at you like you were insane. Now, what I noticed when I went in is that almost everybody had 2 or 3 items. That was about it. They were standing in line, long lines with 2 or 3 items, except there was this one guy. This one guy had his buggy, mound up, which I was kind of wondering about because there was nothing on the shelves. Vegetable aisle, not even one single can of corn, not one. And I got there right when the store opened. Empty shelves galore. And then it hit me, this guy is buying stuff that nobody else is buying. He is not worried if he doesn't get the stuff he wants. Everybody else is getting in there. They've got something on their mind. They go to their favorite thing. It's not there. So what do? They just get a couple of items. They leave. This cat, however, he's like, I'm going to buy everything that everybody else isn't buying. And that, my friends, is the reason that I started this channel anyway. Because everybody's buying everything. And they're doing what everybody else is doing. They're following everybody else's course. It's insane. So what I'm trying to do is just give you a path that you get to choose. You remember those books that you read as a kid where you got to choose the ending? That's what it should be in your business instead of allowing somebody else to choose your ending. Everything that I say is just suggestions. You don't have to follow my advice. If you'd like to at least get my advice, email me at freeonlinecoachingclub@gmail.com. I'll answer your questions absolutely free. Now, I know first of all, that sounds crazy. But number 2, the reason that most people won't ask a question, it removes their excuses. How many times have you been into a forum or Facebook group and they're saying, hey, I bought X, Y, and Z and it didn't work? They're upset. Most of the time they didn't follow it all the way. So we love to buy stuff and we even love to buy coaching so that if our results are poor, it's that person's fault. But I'm doing it for free. If your results are poor, guess whose fault it is? It's yours because you didn't pay anything for it. Anyway, 3 questions today. The first one is from Rockstar Ray. And Rockstar Ray asks this. It says, begins with, thanks, Paul. I was wondering if you might be able to guide me with a bullet point list or protocol to put this plan in motion. He's talking about the monetization matrix. I'm confident in the content, but I'm not sure how I should sequence my work in relation to acquiring the first clients. Possibly recording the training, getting feedback, and so on. I think because I've not trained or led any classes, I'm nervous about having a good plan laid out. Rockstar, this is exactly the way that we all process. I want to make sure I've got all the answers, everything's in place, everything's great, everything's, just right, and I feel confident in it. And for you, because you're more of a consultant and an advisor, I still want you to do the matrix. I want you to lay out all of your information, all of the blocks that you're going to be building on. But you've got a little bit of a different path because you don't actually have to sell any training. You're just selling this. Your matrix is just for you to point people to show that you've given it thought. But you may never make a video. You may never put a course together. You may simply work with business owners one-on-one or possibly in a group and make your money that way. So anyway, that's a quick sidebar. I guess I should just do it and embrace the fact that I may suck at first, but it'll get better as I figure it out. Thanks for your help. Let me go into that a little bit too. Because if you're talking about doing training and you've never done it in your life, and you've never made a video in your life, you've never done a webinar in your life, and you've never stood in front of a crowd in your life, the first time you do it, will you suck? Yes, absolutely. That's just part of the process. In your world, if the first time that I operate any heavy equipment, would I suck at it? Yeah, I'd probably endanger lives. So it's even more, right? At least with this, it's more just emotional than it is, hey, I did some damage. But you've got the knowledge, you've got the insight, you've got the wisdom for these decades of experience that you have. And so that's really the core of what you're bringing to the table. I spent $40, this is totally separate, but he says, I spent $40 this morning on some Earl Nightingale audio for the driving I do. Hey, I'll give you this, because if somebody was to ask me, hey, Paul, should I buy $40 worth of Facebook traffic or should I buy this $40 SEO course, or should I spend $40 on Earl Nightingale? I'm going with Earl every single time. Now, one thing that you can just look up and get for free is Earl's Strangest Secret in the World, the original 1956 recording. It's critical that you get that version. Phenomenal. You can go and read the story behind it. Also, you need something along the lines of Lead the Field. And I don't know what all Ray bought, but anything by Earl Nightingale is going to be stellar. I mean, he's since passed away, but what he's teaching from the mindset perspective is still just as applicable today. All right, so Ray, let me give you a breakdown of how you need to acquire your first client. Everyone else who's listening, take and adapt. You're not going to be doing the same thing. Take and adapt. Here's what I would do. If I were you, Ray, I'd make a list of companies that could use your services. I would call them and I would ask to speak to the owner. They're going to say you can't speak to the owner. Why you want to speak to the owner? Does he even know who you are? Does she know who you are? I'm doing a survey, especially right now. You think about where the economy is right now. I'm taking a survey to learn the pulse of the industry. I'm taking a survey to get the temperature of the industry. You've got about 10 questions that you'll make up that you know are important in your industry. So then you're going to send this survey via email. They're going to fill it out. It can just be in the email. Don't think, hey, what's the best survey software? You don't need it. Here are the 10 questions. Email me a 1-sentence response. Or you can make it multiple choice and ask them just to bold the answer. Super simple. So in this economy, number 1, are you optimistic? Are you aggressively optimistic? Number 2, are you cautiously optimistic? Number 3, are you just holding on? Number 4, are you pessimistic about the future? And number 5, the end is near. Right? That's question 1. Highlight your answer below. You right? Then, once they send it back, number 2, and you may have to follow up a few times to get them to send it back in. Number 2, follow up and discuss the gaps. Hey, Jim, I noticed here in question 3 that you selected D. Most people have been selecting B, so that kind of stuck out to me, and I wanted to know why D was important for you. Casual conversation. You're not selling anything. You're diving deeper. And what are you doing while you're doing this? You're discovering their problems and their needs and their challenges. So you're letting them uncover it. Here's the thing that often we do a survey, and we think, okay, great, I'm going to get the survey in and I'm going to find out everything about them. That's not true. The survey is a conversation starter. It's going to help you recognize a gap, and you don't jump on the gap and go, oh man, this is where that person's problem is. But instead, you talk to the person, you have a conversation. I've said this, I don't know how many times since the beginning of this series. Have conversations. Get away from automation and have conversations. And then number 3. Send a proposal with 3 offers. So based on your conversation, you get to the end of the conversation about the survey. And you go, you know what? I was thinking, Jim, how about I just send you some things to think about, some ways we could possibly work together. No big deal, no pressure. I'll just send them over. If you think it's something that can be helpful, we'll just discuss it more. It's not going to have any prices on it. It's just going to be 3 ways that you could work together. Hey, number 1, just put me on call. Anytime you need me, I'll return a call within 90 minutes. And number 2, and let's go a little bit deeper. I come into your company, we sit down together, we go step by step through everything. And number 4, you actually bring me on as a consultant, and I spend 2 days a month working with your team. I don't know what the options are. You get to make those up. So, your plan, instead of having to have the matrix and all the training, is that you want to have a very general concept of how you change businesses. And then you want a very specific way that you deliver that to the client. Because that's the real value. That's when you become the rock star. Because you're not saying what everybody else is saying. You don't even have anything that's necessarily trackable. Except that you've got decades of experience that show that you're different than these guys who are out there. They got 2 years experience in heavy equipment and they're acting like they know everything. All right, your value is your experience, your hands-on experience to be able to shift the industry. All right, so that's the question for Rockstar Ray. 0 offers, because everybody knows the game. Success is not an accident. Be blessed.